Well, thank you, Pat. That was overwhelming and certainly beyond what I deserve. I'm sure there's plenty of people in here perhaps who don't know who I am. That doesn't matter because it's not about me anyway. But first, giving honor to my Lord and Savior Jesus Christ, who's the first in my life, and I hope that is in yours, and recommend Pastor Mary and Dr. Mary's wife, and all the pulpit associates and members and guests. It is in true an honor to be standing before you today in the absence of my wife Irene, who fought her last victory here on earth on April the 30th of this year at the age of 54, as she died not from breast cancer, but from a second cancer that she had. But she had breast cancer, and she fought the toe for that. Her mother had breast cancer, her sister had breast cancer, and she also had breast cancer. But she was a firm believer in empowerment, and she's a firm believer in knowledge, and she fought knowledge, fought fear. And the fear is so incumbent, it's so entrenched, it's so engraved into our anatomy, into our DNA, that we are scared of that particular word called cancer. But today's technology and treatments and such, we can do things with that we have not done possible in the past. And we can treat some of these diseases just like we would treat your hypertension, your diabetes. It's a disease process. So we treat you, and life goes on. One of my wife's favorite saying was, "There's lots of life left after cancer." And I was so glad that she taught me that there was lots of life after cancer. Lots of life after cancer. It is not a death sentence whatsoever. Also, I think in our past study earlier this morning we came through that Pastor Mary's wife, Dr. Mary, had told me to be quite candid with this organization, with the crowd, and not try to use too many big words, and just keep it straight. So I'm going to keep it straight with you. Keep it straight with you. And and I'm trying to be sensitive to the time too, Dr. Mary, and take first message here that I probably won't stick to 5 minutes. But anyway, be that as it may, October is Breast Cancer Month, and I had been told that you were going to have a short couple pages in your bulletin today. Perhaps, if you did not, perhaps they'll be in the Nortex. You get those on the way out. Because I'm just going to use that to go by, and I want you to do something with this. I want you not to just go home and, or maybe get out of here and put it in the parking lot, put it in your car and don't use it again. I want you to kind of look at the statistics that are actually on this flyer that was in your bulletin perhaps here today, or get it on the way out. Whoever put this together was on point. As our researchers during the week, they brought you some information that's very, very valuable. And if it's not to you, men, it's to a significant other in your life. If it's not to you, women, it's for no significant person in your life. So someone around you has touched you within one generation. I can guarantee you of that. It is not just necessarily have to be about breast cancer. Breast cancer can be the conduit, a conduit. It can be the pathway in which you can talk about prostate cancer or other types of cancer. It also can delve over into diabetes and hypertension, all other things that afflict us so inherently. So this is just I look at this as a passage. But this month, we are wearing breast cancer. But as my wife used to remind me, every day is Breast Cancer Awareness Day. Every day is. Every day we should be aware of our body. Everybody should be allowed to. We only give it one time. We only give this one time. One of the most common things that I hear in my office, well, doctor, I've never had anything like that before. I said, live a little longer, you'll have a whole lot more things that you never had before. Just keep on coming, keep on living, a lot more things you never had before. So it's not how you fall, it's how you recover, and knowledge will keep you recovering from that. All right? Breast cancer is very, very hazardous to our health. To the African American, are very, very, very hazardous. Number one reason is that we get there too late. Or we get there later than we should. If it's not too late, later than we should. And there's a lot of reasons that happens. Fear, knowledge, finances, transportation, blah, 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 blah. The excuses can go on and on and on and on and on. Okay, but that's why we die so early. Because we enter the disease process so late. The burden of disease is so in-depth, and it's hard to recover. The treatment that we will use for you is hard for it to not take you out as we're trying to take the disease out. But if you define this early on in life, it can actually happen. And that's what happened for my wife. My wife was a cure from breast cancer. We found it one morning as we were on our way traveling out of town to the Grand Canyon, and she was taking a shower. She said, "Oh, I noticed something in my breast, Dennis. What is that?" But anyway, it was found, and we still had a great vacation, came back, she had it taken care of, and that was the end of breast cancer as we knew it. Of course, we always lived in that fear, but through her faith, as she transited, she had a lot more faith and conviction. probably said she had a lot more, but she instilled that within me and made me a better person and a husband and a man, because realizing how deep faith can carry you. Because you don't believe in anything. You just fall for anything, right? Anybody can say anything and you just fall for that. Okay, but you got to believe in something so you don't fall for anything. So information is powerful. Knowing is powerful. Nothing is more important than knowledge itself. Knowledge and faith. So I want you to use this flower. Just remember a few things here. As it talks about the signs and symptoms of breast disease. And I was telling Pastor, I know it's probably a little challenging to talk about on a Sunday morning, outside the pulpit about breast, but let's just be straight. All right? It is what it is. All right? It is what it is. And we all have come through this world through birth. All right? And we all have a mother. All have a mother. All right? And every mother had a breast. Okay? Whether they use it to feed us or not, it was there for the nourishment of our body as the first elements of nutrition for our life. So anyway, when you feel a lump, first of all, you need to know what your breasts actually feel like for women. Whether or not your husband or significant other or whomever it is in your life who can, if you don't do self-breast exams, can actually have you to look at your breast. Look at the mirror when you lie down. Do a self-breast exam. You should know your own body. So know your own body, know what it feels like. The breast should normally feel a little gravelly, like gravels inside of it, normally. Anything outside of that ain't right. Excuse all my teachers, but it ain't right. So if it ain't right, you need to do a couple things about it. Okay, you can have it checked out. You can have it checked out. And you have it checked out. Okay. Anything about this you don't understand. Okay. My wife used to always say that some physicians that she would provide would say, well, okay, why don't we just observe it for a while? Oh, Lord, it is right. My wife said, excellent. Take it out, put it in a jar, and observe it as long as you want to. All right? If it ain't right, it ain't right. If it ain't right, get it out, observe it somewhere else. Or at least have it thoroughly looked into. And we have so much more technology this day and time than ultrasound and MRIs and blah, blah, blah. I'm not going to bore you with all those technical terms. But the thing for you is to do something. Just don't sit on it. It ain't an egg. It ain't going to hatch. All right? Just don't sit on it. Get off of it, get on it, and do something about it. All types of changes that you may see. If there's something that you see that ain't right, just don't sit on it. Because that is our problem. Our problem. We just kind of sit on it. Sit on it. Sure, we can take it to the Lord in prayer. No doubt about that, because the faith is important in the process of the healing. But you've got to take that first step to do something about it. Like the gentleman who mentioned about his wife walking in front of him in front of the TV to introduce him, but hadn't even thought about breast cancer. But my wife, to get my attention, one of the things she did do all the time when she come to talk to me, she got right in front of me, right in front of the TV if I was sitting in front of there, because she knew she had undivided attention and such. But sometimes you just got to do what is necessary. You got to do what you got to do so you can do what you want to do. You can't do what you want to do if you don't do what you got to do. Because if you don't do what you got to do, you ain't going to be able to do nothing. And nothing from nothing means nothing.
Talking, sir. You preaching now.
Okay, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to preach. I'm a much better preacher. Much better preacher than I. But let me just give you a few final statistics and I'll be out of here. There are some risk factors that we actually all have, that we all don't actually have, but the women have, that are some of the major causes of breast cancer. And I want the women to remember this and take this to your own education, to your family or to friends or whomever. But if you had your first period before 11 years of old, and if you're still having periods after age 54, that puts you at a higher risk. That doesn't say that you have breast cancer. I didn't say that. I just said it puts you at a higher risk. It's like speeding down the highway. You can do 75, you might not get caught, but you could get caught. So your risk is higher. If you had your first pregnancy after the age of 40, that increases your risk. If you're taking birth control pills as a female, that also increases your risk. If you've not breastfed, and you only breastfed for a short time, that puts you at a higher risk. And of course, if you have a close family member, mother, sister, who've had breast cancer, that puts you at a higher risk also. And just as an aside, men get breast cancer also. All right? I've seen about 3 or 4 of those here in this town. Okay, so nothing avoids all of us. So the men have the women look at their breasts, and the women have, and blah, blah, blah. You know the picture. I'm not trying to say. So anyway, so start your mammograms, start your self-breast exams for women. Between 20 and 30, you'll be doing self-breast exams all the time. At least you'll be doing that monthly, or having your provider doing that at least yearly for you, a provider doing that yearly for you. Okay? And after the age of 40, get your mammograms every year. Make it upon you to do it. Don't count on your knucklehead doctor to do it. All right? We knuckleheads like anyone. Sometimes we have 1,000 things that we want to do. But don't let us forget what you need to do. Well, the doctor didn't say anything. So I must be good. It ain't good. You know, it ain't good. We forget just like everyone else forgets. We can overlook some things. And the window can be small. So all I'm saying is that do something. Do something. Do something while you're smiling, while you're living, while you got an opportunity. Do something. Okay, so again, in closing, I don't know if everyone is going to get the flyer. Okay. Please take one. Please take one. Please take one of these. I think the information is I could not say it any better. So that's why I went tangent. I went off of saying something else. But in closing, I'm reminding of a joke. I'm from the backwoods. Maybe I shouldn't tell the joke. But that's a fine. Okay, so I'm from the backwoods of Virginia, a small backwood place, 8 miles in the country, and plumb back in the woods is where I'm from, honestly. So even though I wasn't born on a farm, I was brought up around livestock, and I can remember this. My grandmother tell me this little joke. She says that the pig and the cow were arguing about who did the most for this land, who did the most for the people. And the pig said, I don't know why, Ms. Cow, that they're always talking about how beautiful your eyes are and how sweet your milk is and how all that butter is and blah, 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 when it's us, the pig, that are down here on the earth, rooting in the earth. We give all that nice sausage, all that nice ham. Oh, they even pickle our feet. So what makes you so great? And the cow, chewing her curd, flapped her tail, and the cow says so gently to the pig, perhaps we give ours while we're living. So do something while you're living, okay?